once again live, another Purge of the BS Sunday night edition. Glad to see y'all already in the chat there. Purple Groovy, what's up? I am Z, what's up? We already got the mod squad in here, so that's a good thing. Because tonight, the chat on mobile is open. It's not just subscribers only, so we might get some trolls in here. So I need the mod squad to be prepared for any and everything tonight, as usual, because this is the Purge of the BS. So thank y'all once again for coming in. Make sure you like and subscribe, share the live. We don't get a lot of notifications pushed out, so it's up to you to handle that, so we can have a real conversation. So tonight we're gonna go over a few things. We got a poopy protest. We got some Chinese lady goes crazy for saying the N-word. AI robots going nutty. And what else we got? I almost forgot. This very important one we got to hit regarding Megyn Kelly and Blonde Origin and their trip to sort of space, right? It's a perfect troll. I think we need to give it the proper respect, as we do with anything here on the Purge of the BS. So for anybody that's brand new, I got to give them the disclaimer. Please stand by.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another Purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the Purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without consequence. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they too will be watching the Purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
All right, guys, I hope y'all are ready. I hope y'all enjoyed the intro. It takes a little work to put it together like that. Live, you know what I'm saying? You got to do it live. It's the whole thing. So I don't know if I'm going to get my boys on tonight. It's been a crazy weekend, a lot going on, but I still got plenty to purge. So it's just us, guys, at least for right now. This is officially a call-in show, so this can be open. That's what I'm saying. It can get dangerous in here. So we're just going to go ahead and jump on in there. Tamara, what's up in the chat? I see you, man. I got all the good folks that stopped in early. I appreciate y'all, man, for supporting the channel. We're a little over 5,000 folks now. Still growing, still showing. So I really appreciate everybody that's been rolling with us since day one, and really helping this thing grow. The conversations are starting to get a little more interesting because we're getting a lot of different viewpoints from different people that pop in. So that's always fun. That's always fun. But we have to be on guard because the trolls are always available for the BS. And because this is Purge the BS, if they are to stop by, we have to, of course, let them know that they're not welcome here. All right? So, let's get into it early. I guess, you know what? We're going to start with Megyn Kelly's thing. You know what I'm saying? I think we should start there. And then we'll get into some things where people get pissed off. But let's start with something funny and see if we can get this thing to go. All right, so hold on a second. Let me preempt this by saying this is a trollage situation. And Megyn Kelly is now on my list for possibly epic trollage. I want to give her the respect that she deserves here. So we're going to give them a couple of minutes. I'm going to have to speed it up because they dragged it on for a little bit. So sorry about that part. But let's check it out here. Hold on a second. I should be able to do it like this, right? Let's try this. We're going to try this view. Hold on. Let's see what this view looks like. This will work for right now. This will work. Y'all can see most of it.
Don't call it a ride.
When zero gravity left some with zero clue.
Take it up space!
Have you been?
Three women were brave enough to answer the call.
It is not a ride, it's a mission.
This is special coverage of Blonde Origin. Zero gravity, zero clue. Here are your hosts, Mark Halperin and Link Lauren.
Hold on, I got to speed that up.
You're looking live.
All right, so there's these two guys. They start talking, and this is one of them. This blonde-haired looking dude kind of reminds me of the guy from that movie with the little, what is that name? Her name, Megan McCarthy. I don't know if it was Identity Thief or whatever it was, but there was like this dude that was albino looking. This is what this guy looks like. So basically, they decided to do a parody on the Katy Perry space flight. And I call it the Katy Perry space flight because she seemed to be the one that was most deeply affected by how much love she felt from the planet, I guess, when she was up in the air. But the point of this is they actually go up in a plane, which is funny because they're basically saying you don't even have to use a rocket to do what was done. And this already exists as a flight pattern. So anyway, let's let them go through a couple of minutes of it. We'll enjoy it. We'll laugh a little bit, and then we're going to move on to the next story. All right?
Drinks at the bar, but nonetheless, they are really opening doors, Mark.
Link, let's meet our three brave astronauts today. The crew made up of three first-timers, brave souls who are going where no one has gone before, or not very many people have gone before. Megyn Kelly, of course, she's a journalist, an attorney, political commentator, and of course, a successful host on a program that appears on SiriusXM and on YouTube. Joining Megyn for this historic mission, Maureen Callahan, columnist for the Daily Mail, and the host of the Nerve podcast on the Megyn Kelly Network. And finally, Sarah Clemente. She's a hairstylist, one of Megyn's close friends. Her number one priority today, Link, making sure that everyone's hair looks absolutely flawless, even at 0G.
Absolutely, Mark. It doesn't really matter what you're doing as long as you look great doing it. These women could be on the cover of Vogue tomorrow, and I hope they are for the scientific feat going up into zero gravity.
Yeah, for some of these first-time space travelers, Link, this would be as tough as Pete Davidson at a Kardashian family reunion. What are the challenges they're facing today?
Well, I think these women are going to prove once and for all that silicone, Botox, Juvederm, hair extensions can survive in zero gravity. This is a scientific feat, a scientific miracle. This is going to be amazing, Mark.
Okay, here we go.
The nation, indeed, Link, the world is watching. What kind of pressure are these young women on?
These women are under immense pressure. They are up there with Buzz Aldrin and other space travelers who have paved the way for them before, Mark. You know, Mark, what I think is going through these women's heads is that they are opening doors for women. These three women are proving once and for all there's nothing a woman can't do that a man can, as long as it's for a few minutes and they don't have to operate any heavy machinery. These women have worked incredibly hard. The athletic prowess of these three women is unmatched by anybody I've seen before, Mark.
Here they are at one of the great historic space sites in the world, LaGuardia Airport, walking to what is their date with destiny.
On a scale of 1 to 10, these women are at an 11 right now. Anna Wintour from Vogue would be incredibly proud of these women. They look incredible, Mark.
Yo, just to pause, like I said, this is an epic trollage, but the amount of effort in the trollage, it just amazes me. So I had to give it props. Like I said, I got to give it props. Y'all got to sit through it with me. I saw a little piece of it earlier. I wanted you to check it out.
Mission Control says they're cleared for takeoff. This could not be more exciting.
Yeah, they got helmets now, though, right?
We got this.
They ain't got helmets.
Our crew's
on the
working
flight.
in what's called a modified Boeing 727. It's G-Force One.
Look at this
Great
right here.
technology
Look.
inside G-Force One. It uses special hydraulics, allows for maneuvers to achieve zero gravity.
Mark, I would never attempt this in my wildest dreams.
Now, like, these three are comrades and colleagues, but they've got a competitive streak, let's be honest. When you look at them, who's got the best, as the space correspondent Lady Gaga would say, poker face.
I think Miss Megyn Kelly herself looks like she is really up to the challenge. She's got her zipper down, she's got her stylish boots on, she's got her hair perfectly coiffed. I think Megyn Kelly is in it to win it today, Mark.
Awesome.
You ready for your ride?
Please don't call it a ride. That's a sexist thing to do. When men are on board one of these crafts, one of these vessels, no one ever calls it a ride.
Tens of millions watching us live around the world, and some of the more famous people in this country have gathered to experience history in the making. And look, oh no, oh yes, Lady Oprah in the house.
You know, we can't tell if Oprah is crying tears of joy or if she's crying because she's not the center of attention for once.
Not clear why Oprah's weepy, but this is a dramatic and emotional moment, I think, for many of us. And now let's watch as the women experience lunar gravity for the very first time.
Yo,
Getting quiet.
this is awesome. I don't care.
Oh my God! Stand up! Stand up!
Link, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, or maybe I saw it on Twitter, most of the moon landings have been fake. This, though, seems all too real.
Mark, this is absolutely 100% authentic.
Whoa! Are my eyelashes still on? Is my Botox still between the eyes?
Oh, God.
Link, I never saw John Glenn fix his eyelashes. This is a new frontier, a final frontier, if you will.
Well,
Like I
Mark,
said,
beauty is
I'm
incredible.
not even a fan of Megyn Kelly like that, but I gotta give her the, she gets the applause for this because it's like you're joking about yourself, and I always respect that when people do it. So there you go. Megyn, you get a little clap for that. I don't know if I can make it through the whole video, though. I don't know about it. I don't know. We're gonna try to make it as far as we can.
Important, and these three women are proving that silicone, filler, Botox, fake eyelashes, hair extensions can survive and thrive in zero gravity.
Well, this is exciting. Now the women are about to experience true weightlessness for the very first time. Let's look.
It's happening.
Pushing over! 04!
Yep, here we go. Dr. Don's in here talking about doing violence with the zero-G plane. I mean, they look like they're having fun, so,
Link, in spaces and sports, records are made to be broken. I'm told our heroes today have shattered the mark set by the gals from Blue Origin. Tell us what they've done.
Yeah, why is there
Mark, these women have
football in there?
spent twice as
Why
much
is
time
there
in weightlessness
football in
than
there?
any of the women on that ridiculous 11-minute Blue Origin ride. Back here on Earth, sales of Ozempic are plummeting because women have found a way to be weightless without any GLP-1 drugs. Mark, this is
Oh,
incredible.
that was close. That was
happening.
cold.
Happening. Oh, feet. It's happening. Give me it. Oh, my God. Oh. Taking up space.
Yo, that's so
It's
wrong.
not a ride. It's not a ride.
Link, like all the events in the world today, social media paying close attention to our heroes.
Get the football. Why is there football in there? This is crazy. This is crazy. I just, like I said, I gotta appreciate the trollers though. And it looks like they're enjoying themselves. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This looks like something I would do. Book the trip. You know what I'm saying? Seems way more like fun. We bounce around for a little bit at zero-G, come back. Seems like a fun trip. This doesn't seem scientific at all, but it does seem like a fun trip.
Here's one tweet I'll read to you. This is from RX4245. It says,
in the chat, would
Blue
y'all
Origin
take the trip?
weightless,
Would y'all do this
Blonde
one?
Origin weightless.
We knew your expectations of us were high, and we exceeded them. We exceeded them.
It's the whole world. I'm like, it's the whole world.
Yo, this is so goofy.
Yeah.
Megyn Kelly going for the water. She's going. Oh, it's a miss. Let's see if she tries again.
No, this seems fun.
Yes.
Seems like they're having
I'm
fun.
inspirational.
Megyn Kelly 1 for 2. Link, that gets you in the Hall of Fame if you play for the New York Yankees.
Absolutely, Mark. And as Megyn Kelly said herself, she is an inspiration catching that water in zero gravity.
Let's look at this again in slow motion. Megyn Kelly, thirsty as all
Megyn
get out.
takes it all
Don't
in the
lose
mouth.
your taste for the drink, even in zero gravity.
And not only are these women thirsty for water, they're thirsty for fame, they're thirsty for attention, but in 2025, that is perfectly acceptable, Mark.
Yo, this is awesome.
Welcome home, brave space angels. We knew you could do it.
I still have difficulty calling myself an astronaut. I know.
Here are heroes descending back. They're sun-kissed, and now, wait a minute. Link, I've heard of kissing the ground under such circumstances, but this to me looks to be a full-on makeout session.
You know, Mark, I think these women should buy the ground a drink first. I also know there are a lot of men who would be jealous of the ground right now.
This is a grand space tradition. NASA has done it for years. The names of our heroes turned right side up and upside down. And now let's listen in for the first time back on Earth to our star heroes from space.
I think it's such a wonderful world. Should we sing a little bit?
I don't see shades of blue, trees of green, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Here's Space's top talker, Megyn Kelly.
Did I mention how proud I am of me? You tend to do that. I forgot for 1 second, but yes, you are. I know. Not just to girls and women either. Boys too. Boys and men. They all find me very inspirational.
How was the ride?
I don't appreciate when people call it a ride. It's not a ride. They never say that for the other astronauts. It's a flight. It's a mission. Okay? That's what. There's nothing frivolous about what we just did. Okay? It was a flight. It was a mission. and it was mission accomplished.
Well, a little bit of unhappiness there for Megan, maybe not getting the respect she thinks she and her crew deserve.
You know, Mark, how dare anybody call this a ride? This is a mission. These women were incredible. This is a scientific feat. They trained, they worked hard. This is amazing, Mark. You know, Mark, my producer is saying we've got Megan on the line.
Yeah, hi guys, it's MK. Look, I don't know what's happening here, but I don't hear us being called astronauts enough. Or at all. You know, we did the same flight path as Alan Shepard. Astronauts, astronauts. Okay, I'd like to hear that a bit more, please.
Guys, get it right there.
Could you please focus on what matters? I would
this
really
is
appreciate
so
it.
mean,
I gotta
but
run.
so
I have some more
funny,
selfies to take. But thanks so much for your coverage. Bye.
All right. So there we go. Megyn Kelly, Blonde Origin, decided to do this. Was SNL level trollage, and I had to appreciate it. So I'm glad y'all were okay with my appreciation level of this situation. It was awesome to me. I'm sorry. Sorry if I had to take some of y'all on the trip to not outer space, to Notter space. Okay. So y'all, when you see Megan, just tell her she's an inspiration. Okay, she'll appreciate that. All right, let's move to our next story here. What we got? What we got? All right. Well, that was Megyn Kelly's story, and then the next one. Okay. Oh, we're going right to the Chinese lady. Okay, whatever the people want. Whatever the people want here. Hey, make sure you hit the like button if you're just stepping into the channel here. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. If you would like to share it so you can get a couple folks in here on the chat chatting with you, feel free to do so. Tonight is an open show. We normally do subscribers only on this channel, but I figured we'll open it up a little bit, see if anybody kind of slides through. Pause. So apparently, this next story, a woman who is of Asian descent apparently becomes racially motivated to call a black person a couple of N-words. I think she might have a black boyfriend or something. I don't know. Let's figure it out. Hold on a second here. Which one am I going to go with? I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with this one. All right, we'll go with this one. For this one. All right, y'all can see the video. Y'all can see me. You can't see this little Chinese lady sitting here. I don't think she's part of the video, though. We'll see if I got to move it around. All right, so let's see what happens.
Black nigger. Go back to your country.
Where
Go
they
back
at?
to your country, nigger. We don't welcome black people. Black people should go. Go back to Africa. You look so fucking ugly with your dark skin color. Go back to Africa. 回到非洲去好吗？ Go back to your country. Nigger, 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 nigger. Do you eat watermelon?
She said, do you eat a watermelon?
Because he's white and he's your master.
Well, the whole menu is in another language, so they may be somewhere else. I don't see none of that in English, and I'm pretty sure I see a small animal at the top there, just sitting in a pool of its own. Anyway, you know what's funny? I got to give it to you, Dr. Dons. You know, a lot of people get offended at the word, but for some reason, when this little Asian lady said it, it just didn't have a lot of bite. It was kind of cute in a way. Now, I'm not saying it's cute to call people the N-word. I'm just saying her tone, it was a cute tone, but then you had to say, oh, she's being a bitch. So, hold on a sec. I'll play it back for those that didn't catch it the first time. But she was like, nigger, nigger, nigger. She sings a little song about it, you know.
Black nigger. Go back to your country.
Nigga, nigga. Yeah, I'm gonna remix that.
We don't welcome black people. Black people should go. Go back to Africa. You look so fucking ugly with your dark skin color. Go back to Africa. 回到非洲去好吗？
You know, when foreign people try to be like mean in the native language of the person they're trying to be mean to, it just doesn't have the same punch. It really doesn't. It just really doesn't. Like it is, the lady who's recording this is laughing. Normally, if this were to happen in America, there would be a whole bestiality fight going on right now. This small lady probably would have been thrown in the back by the cook that was back there, you know? But because they're in, it looks like another country, they're just laughing at her. Like, she does sound goofy doing this. So, I don't know.
To your country. Nigger, 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 nigger.
Nigger, 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 nigger.
I'm going to send.
Yo, when she said, "Do you eat a watermelon?" I almost lose it right there. That is funny as hell. Do you eat a watermelon?
I'm going to send this to my boyfriend because he's white and he's your master.
Okay, so her boyfriend's white and he is their master, according to her. Okay. I just want to make sure that she has what her facts are. Just want to hear what her point is. Now go in the back and get my damn General Tso's chicken and stop with the goofiness.
Like nigger.
All right. Anyway, so I'll say this. I'm glad that the people who had to receive that racial tirade didn't go crazy and end up, trying to hurt somebody. But you can't. Like, I don't really understand what the problem was. Like, what starts this? See, I always need more context. I'm sure this lady didn't just walk up and start this. There was something else that happened. Maybe they was spitting rice on the floor. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm inclined to believe that something preempted this, and this woman was responding to something that had occurred. Could have been like the other joint I did where the guy didn't leave a tip, and they was tripping. Got little teeny tots. She got tater tots up top. She got the tater tot tops. I'm sorry. I'm sure she's self-conscious about it. I'm wrong for that. But nonetheless. All right, let's move into our next situation here. Since we're on funny stuff, what's this one? Oh, forehead titties. Well, let's see what this is about.
Tis are safe, reusable, and easily applied.
There's a forehead titty for everyone.
Because respect never goes out of style. Forehead to tis by Jeanette. Make them almost look you in the eyes. Forehead to tis are safe.
All right, so this is to help guys look you in the eyes. I get the joke. Okay, all right. I didn't get it at first. I was like, why would anybody put this on their forehead? It's stupid. But all right, I get it. Okay, it was for those that want to attack the dudes. Boo. Boo. All right, let's see what we got here. So we have the Shineager. Okay. Poop in protest. Okay, well that's going to be interesting. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Okay. We're going to go to our AI guy. Then we'll go to poop and protest. Then we'll go to this other thing. And we'll get into our controversial topic of the evening, okay? For those that came for the controversial topic. I always have to do a controversial topic here. Hey, make sure if you're brand new to this channel, you hit that like and you subscribe. Make sure you come back. We'll be back on Tuesday for the daytime show. That's at 11 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Saturday and Sundays are the nighttime shows. Next Saturday, we do have special guests coming on from the Kelly Kareen show, another creator. She'll be stopping by on Saturday of next week, I believe. So, got to check the calendar. But yeah, we got a couple of things coming up. So make sure that you hit the notifications. Make sure you stick with the channel, come back to the channel, all that good stuff. But anyway, let's get to the next thing here. Hold on. Because I'm going to have to share this screen. All right, I'll share it. Let's go here. Here. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're going to go to this new tab. The next one, which apparently was... some robot goes nutty. Let's see what happens. Pause this for the cause of this. All right, so it looks like somebody's sending me some stuff because I've been telling everybody to get into AI. So this clip must have been sent in reference to my AI claims of them taking over. But it looks like what happens, or at least what's expected to happen here, is a robot just kind of loses its mind. I don't know any other way to describe what's being seen here, but at least it's tied down. That's all I'm going to say. So let's see what the robot does. Yo! Hold on, let me run it one more time. Hold on. Right here. Try you see it. Hold on. Y'all can't see the other dude in the shot. Look at my man right here. Oh, shit. That's what he's saying right there, right? So apparently, they gave this robot a bad program. I don't want to call it a virus, but something happens and it starts to go off. All right. I'm sorry. That joint is funny to me. I'm wondering what they taught it that made it do that. That's all I want to know. What program was that y'all were loading up? That's all I'm saying. Let's make sure we don't ever let that program get to them Optimus robots that Elon is working on, because this robot started trying to do karate and some more stuff. I don't know. I'm just saying. Joe, it's hilarious. So, sorry, that's a funny one. All right, guys. I'm sorry. AIs. I'm just thinking and imagining if he actually would have got his hands on this guy. Yo, you got it. One more time. Let me let you see this guy's face. You got to see it. You got to see it. If it'll let me allow y'all to see it. Come on. Let me get it. Let me get it. Got to bring it out. Nope, it won't let me do it. All right, fine. Y'all get the point. Well, you know what? If I minimize it, y'all can see it. This guy right here. Yo, I don't know, man. Whatever y'all doing in that lab, they need to come check it out. I think y'all need to be losing funding. Something ain't going right in there. So anyway, move to the next story. Y'all better watch out the robots, boy. If he'd have caught one hit, that thing had metal arms and everything. He was going down. That's why he was so scared. Like, he knows he'd have built something that could kill him. All right, guys. Moving to the next joint. No transition on this one. We're going to go straight in. Pause. All right, so what do we have here? What do we have here? Because we're on X. Anything can happen here. Okay, so this is literally a Purge story here. So apparently, a young lady, I don't know if I want to call her young or what, got arrested for launching explosive diarrhea onto somebody's car hood after a road rage incident. Yes, I did say that and I did not stutter. The young lady, now granted, what do y'all want to see? What do y'all want to see? Because some people, I feel like they want to see this woman pooping on something. And for those people, I got you. So this lady comes out. Yo! Did that really happen? Yes, it did. So apparently she gets out of this black car, and this must be her, this nice looking young lady in the corner of the picture here. This must be her. She gets out the car, she turns around and dumps on the hood and walks off. You dirty rat. Oh my goodness.
Can you tell us what happened?
The lady chased me. She chased me and I asked her not to attack me. She chased you? I have a sickness.
Did you wipe yourself at some point between the incident and now? Because you know that stuff be in there and moving around. She's a nasty person. We've established that. But she seems way too happy about this. She followed me, and so I pooped on her car, and that's what you do here? So I don't understand what the problem is. Like, that's how she's acting. This is ridiculous.
Can you tell us what happened?
The lady chased me. She chased me and I asked her not to attack me. She chased you? I have a sickness.
No.
You said she chased you?
She admits to having a sickness. Now, I'm not sure what that is. If she's just got bubble guts, bad bowels, I don't know, or maybe she's just crazy, because I'll go with that one. That sounds like more of a good observation. She seems crazy. If you do that as the immediate retaliation, like you go from somebody beeping at you with their car to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm about to get out and put a dump on the hood over here. Keep the car running. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, she chased me. And I got out and begged her to stop. Better to do. Listen to her side.
All right, well, we get it. I'm just mad that they used the horn. Like that was going to deter a person that's getting ready to crap on your car. That not the car that they're in front of that's on that you could just run them over with. No, they're not deterred by that at all. But maybe if I hit the horn, this will get them to stop. I know that joint probably got chopped up in the fans and everything right on the front of that Hyundai. But this is you said this is Pennsylvania. I think this is Pennsylvania. So, they're acting real shitty up there in Pennsylvania these days. I will say this is a pretty original way of dealing with road rage stuff. You know, not to take the good with the bad or the bad with the good, but I'm just saying, I've never seen this happen before. So, this is literally a Purge of the BS original. Like, I ain't never seen nothing like that. Jeez. Sorry, Dr. Dons. You might have to go police the streets for the poopers. Apparently, this is the thing. And this woman says she has a sickness. Maybe it's registered in the medical manual, a sickness that every time you get aggravated, you go poop on something. I don't know. But that's what she did. Jeez, that's a rough one. All right, let me go back to my main. I'm sorry, guys. I had to take you on that was pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty. Yeah, that was pretty nasty. I feel bad that I put y'all through that. Kinda. Not really, actually. Not really. I had to watch it, so you're here. Might as well, right? All right, let's see. We've got poop and protest. That was unexpected. I wasn't expecting that one. Oh, wow. We're just going to go from there to there, huh? Okay. What time is it? We got enough time for it. All right, guys. Well, we are going to take a turn down Pennsylvania Avenue real quick to have a quick conversation of what I would call fake news, okay? And we're going to discuss said fake news because I, for one, would like to know what Donald Trump is talking about. And I'm hoping that you guys will also want to know what Donald Trump is talking about, okay? So let me see here. Let me see if I can get this thing to... Where would I open this up at? On the other screen? All right, I'll bring it to the other screen then. See if this does it. We got to talk about this, guys, because I need to know what the hell he's talking about. All right? So here we go. This is crazy. So, Donald Trump put out a message, said gasoline just broke. I'm sorry, y'all may not be able to see, but this is from his, what is that, X account, Twitter account, whatever. It won't let me pull it up here. Anyway, y'all can't see it. I can see it. But it's Donald J. Trump. He puts out on, looks like X. Gasoline just broke $1.98 a gallon. Lowest in years. Groceries and eggs are down. Energy is down. Mortgage rates are down. Employment is strong. And much more good news as billions of dollars pour in from tariffs. And just like I said, we're only in a transition stage, just getting started. Consumers have been waiting for years to see prices come down. No inflation. The Fed should lower its rates, though. Now, I only did that to add a little bit of flavor to what was being said, but I just want to start with the first sentence. Can anybody tell me where the hell gasoline is less than $2? I'll wait. Oh, it's solid now. Okay. All right. I felt that may be true. Not that it was that low, but just that doesn't exist anywhere. I travel enough to know that I ain't seen $2 gas in about 2 years now. Or anything in the two. It's been a couple years. It might have been longer than that when I really think about it. Because I used to drive all over the place. So I would see the gas rates in different states. And I would like write down what gas stations to stop at. It was kind of like they have an app for that, but I didn't want to give the app my location information, so I just learned it myself. But nonetheless, so I would like someone to please tell me, if you could, where this $2 gas is. Okay. All right. I see that this is all right. Nobody's got anything for me on this one. Everybody always got so much to say on everything else. I ask a little question about this gas that's supposed to be breaking $1.98 a gallon, and nobody can seem to tell me where this gas exists. And I would like to have some of this $1.98 gas. So if nobody tells me where it is, I'm inclined to think that this might not be true. And you guys understand that
I smell bullshit.
Yep, I do, and I'm all for good things. I'm all for the American people having transparency with their president. But what I don't like is anybody telling me some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Ain't no $2 gas. Where is it at? Please, someone share this with me. So I'm gonna be honest. I know there ain't no damn $2 gas. I know it. Most likely, Donald Trump was referring to maybe the cost of oil barrels or something like that, or unrefined oil or something that's not what's over at the Exxon down the street. Maybe he got confused, maybe whatever, but here's the problem. Why is no one making sure that he's not saying no goofiness like this? Because now the press is going to be talking about, you told everybody gas was $1.98 and now they can't find it. You're a liar. Now they're going to try to impeach him for lying about gas prices, which I don't have time for myself. But to me, this is dumb. Like, you are a person, you know good and damn well, you know what? He hasn't filled up gas himself in quite some time. So maybe he doesn't know. But somebody's supposed to be there to say, hey, no, let's edit that one. That's not right. But because it's Trump, he ain't even gonna come back. And if he has, please let me know. If he has come back and said, my bad, I was wrong on that, please let me know. But so far, I didn't see that. What I saw was this, and I was like, huh? Where? So, all right, we'll move past the gas. We know that's not true. Okay, so I told you this, it looked like fake news to me. So that's why I had to bring it to the folks. Okay, so that was first. Then it was groceries and eggs being down. Now, let me just say this. I went shopping today, and talk is still cheap, okay? But what's not cheap is damn groceries. It's not nope, you're not going to tell me that, because I have shopped many times. I've been grocery shopping many times, so I know how much stuff can fit in the house, like when you buy stuff, right? I know like the limit max of what you can get in the freezer and everything. When you're buying things like, yo, I know I can only get 8 packs of this and 3 packs of... I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be honest. I'm not getting what I used to get when I go to the store. Now, that doesn't mean that one thing hasn't come down and something else hasn't gone up. I'm just saying, in an overall cost, I'm not getting as much as I used to get at the store. And that has not changed recently. If anything, it's gotten a little bit worse, and I'm not 100% sure why. If this is true information. If gas is $2, and groceries and eggs have come down significantly, employment is strong. I don't know about all that. I thought we just fired like 75,000 people. So I'm sure that makes the numbers look funny. But there's also some new projects coming for some of the automotive people and their plants that they're building. So yeah, I'm sure there's opening up little jobs. I think for me, my issue is when you make statements like this, you got to be right when you say it. Because if not, then nobody believes anything that you say, and everything that you say comes with, this might not be right. And not that we weren't sort of there in some ways before, but this is a perfect example of why we have to be like that. I would love to not have to be like that. I would love to be able to trust and believe everything that I see that comes across these timelines from our president. But unfortunately, I don't know if he's just mistaken. That would be me giving him the benefit of the doubt. Or he's lying on purpose. That would be me saying that he's just lying because he likes to lie. I don't know. But the point is, this is what hit the internet, and this is what people saw. And he's got one of the biggest followings on the internet. So either people are going to understand that it was a mistake, or they're going to call him for lying and putting out some BS. So it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And see, this is what I'm saying. Donald J. Plump in the chat, thank you for stopping through. When there's a blatant lie like this, he could backtrack and be like, nah, I was talking about the price of oil or something like that. And you can kind of get out of that, but I don't think there was any retraction on this. So why would you tell people who have to gas up every other day what the gas price is when they know good and damn well that's not the gas price? I think he shouldn't have said that. Probably shouldn't have said that. But whatever. I just wanted to make sure that if I was missing something, that's why I brought it to y'all. Because if I wasn't finding the $2 gas, I wanted to know where it was at. So I was just trying to figure that out. So I assumed it was incorrect. But I said, but if it exists, I do want to know. But I'm finding that it was some bullshit. So was it a mistake? Was it just him exaggerating something? Who knows? But it's incorrect. So whatever he was trying to say, this wasn't the words to say that. This was absolute BS. And you're not going to tell me that groceries are that much cheaper when I just went shopping today and talk is still real cheap. And I know I'm mixing two things up by saying that, but I'm serious. I went shopping today. See, there you go. Dr. Don's looked it up for me. A barrel of processed gasoline currently costs around $2.02. So that's not bad. So where is the $2 for us gas? You know what I'm saying? If a whole barrel of gas is $2, where we getting that from? I don't know. Let me know, though, in the chat. Send me a geographic location. I will drive and get some cheap-ass gas. For real. Gas where I'm at is still well over $3. And I don't even want to talk about California. California gas is like $7 or something like that for regular. That's absolute lunacy. So anyway, Yeah, this didn't work too well. But I wanted to get into another topic here. Dr. Dons, are you telling me that it's $2 for 42 gallons of gas, but I paid $3+ for 1 gallon of gasoline? The same gasoline? Is that what you're saying? It sounds like that's what he's saying. Okay. Well, I'm not surprised to hear that. Everybody's been getting over for quite some time. And they trying to it's almost like they snitching right now. Trump was already the president. So none of this stuff just started in the last 4 years. We're talking about the waste and the fraud and all that. It was going on before he got there and while he was there. So he took in all them little secrets, and now he's running and utilizing the things that he knew was messed up when he was there that he just didn't fix. He's like, well, I know that's still going on because it was going on before I got there and I didn't stop it. So I can expose it, make it seem like he exposed something new. And it's all old shit, man. It's all old shit. That's all right. Look, I'm going to have faith that somehow, some way, we will get back to $1.98 a gallon gas. I remember it. It was only a few years ago that I could find gas for $2 or less. But it wasn't that long ago. It was only a few years ago. And it wasn't during the time that Trump was president. So whatever that's about, it is what it is, but it was just a few years ago. It was right after that. It was probably because of COVID. I don't know. Tell me whatever you want to tell me, but I know it was cheap. And I know that I was all right with that price. I used to be able to drive 1,000 miles in my car for $100, something like that. And maybe not even $100, maybe $60, $70, something like that. Less than $100. I could travel 1,000 miles in the car and just refill once or twice. So I would love to hear that they would have a problem with the price gouging, but the price gouging didn't just start. So I think it's all a phallus. You know what I'm saying? Just like a facade. You can tell me that it's that cheap, but then the companies are going to still upcharge whatever they want. And what am I going to do about that? I still need gas. So unless they do a federal regulation to say we can only have gas be this expensive in certain areas, there's no way around that. They're going to charge whatever they want, and all of the gas companies come together to say in these particular areas, this is what we're going to charge for gas. So that's why there's never really much difference between the gas stations. You go to Exxon, you go to Mobil, you'll find one, off-brand gas station that's probably using recycled gas from cars that got impounded or something. I don't know. You'll find one of those. It's always just one location. I don't trust that gas. Not if you got a really nice car. I wouldn't put that gas in. I don't know what's wrong with it. Maybe it's not refined the same way, but it's different, right? So the companies are the ones to blame. That's basically what Dr. Dons is saying. That's basically what we're seeing here because that's what Trump is saying. So he's talking about the gasoline barrels before they get marked up. So he's not necessarily wrong according to Dr. Dons' information. So do we have someone trying to get bond money in the chat? Well, you gotta at least be subscribed to the channel, at minimum. You can't just come in here and fundraise on my shit. You got one more time. Anyway, so back to the actual conversation. Like I said, people are getting upset about this information because they're saying that he's lying. I haven't heard the retraction or anything to add clarity to it. So what I thought was this was the consumer price. And apparently this is not the consumer price. This is the manufacturer, the shipper, the distributor's price before it gets marked up. That's freaking crazy, but it's a necessity. How do you make them lower prices on things that people are going to need anyway? You got to pay for it. It's worse than addiction. Like an addiction, like you smoke cigarettes like me, right? They go up on the price of cigarettes. Eventually you'll price out. You'll be like, yo, I can't afford to smoke no more. But you'll still need gas. You'll still need groceries. You still need food. So no matter how high they go on these things, we're still going to have to pay for that shit. And that's the part that scares me is we worrying about the federal government regulating it when, as you can see, it's not really the federal government that's doing that to you. It's the same as if you go into certain states, like northern states on the East Coast, and they have tobacco products there, right? On the package, it'll say, you know, you want to buy some Dutches or whatever, right? It'll say 2 for 99 cents on the package. You go and try to purchase that, they'll charge you $2.99 for the same thing. And they'll tell you it's taxes, it's markups. No, it's the business itself. And all of the businesses are in on it. They're all in on it. That's why you can only go to certain places and get the price that's on the pack. You got to go to a main joint like Family Dollar or Dollar General, something that has like a national presence, and then you get what you see on the pack. When it says that number on there, then you get that. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I just wanted to know where the gas was, and now I found out it's not even that, so I'm mad now. I'm very upset now. I'm sorry. I'm very upset now. Hold on. I got to bring it back over because we're going to get into our last story, and I'm getting out of here because the last story is kind of serious. Well, actually, you know what? Before I do that last one, there was a recent kind of a poll where they were doing this whole like gorilla versus 100 men and women versus 100 lions or 100 women versus a lion or accountability. I'm not sure. It's been a bunch of different ones. But here was a funny one that came up where it said 328 or 3,028 billionaires versus the rest of the world. Basically, all the billionaires versus the rest of the world. And the point of it was that for some reason we're still losing in that battle. So I know y'all can't see the whole thing. Let me see if I can minimize it. No. All right. We'll move it this way. Y'all can see it this way. I'll move it around for you. There we go. 3,028 billionaires, over 8 billion people as of 2025. And in the post, it said, who would win? And so it was meaning it in more of a capital kind of thing, because technically the 3,028 billionaires are the ones that run the world of 8 million or 8 billion people. And there's no way to stop that other than like taking everything from those people. So we can't think that way. That's not going to work. So the only thing that we can do is try our best to unify. But do we even have, does the rest of the world have as much money as all the billionaires in the world? Like put together, if you take everybody that's got billions and everybody else, does everybody else even have more money than that? And I would go to say probably no. Because if you think about it, anybody that's got $1 billion, that's like a lot of people's salaries right there, wrapped into just one person in 1 billion, not multiple billions. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I just thought it was an interesting question. They were saying, you know, who would win if you took... Now, if you want to be physical about it, and you say there's 3,028 billionaires and 8 billion people, then physically, yes, the 8 billion people would probably be able to handle that. Pretty easily, actually. But who knows? Who truly knows? So, guys... Like I said, I got to get into a serious story here, and it was going to take some time, so I have to do it now. Bear with me just a moment, please. Okay. All right. So I'm giving y'all a heads up. A recent story came across my timeline. And I feel like we're looking at another, I'm not going to say a full-blown George Floyd situation, but I feel like the grifters will be coming out to feast on this one. it's a really interesting conversation here. So there was a guy in Cincinnati who recently ran over a police officer. Okay? I got to have this conversation because there's a lot more to the story. But I want to start with what brought it to me was the person apparently running over the police officer. And it was on purpose. But when you hear what happened, you're going to hear why people are going to start having an issue. And I just want y'all to be objective. We're going to be thorough. We're going to be fair. But we're going to talk about this case really quickly. For those that don't know about it, it just happened within the last couple of days. So let me bring this thing over for you.
Recently retired sheriff's deputy is dead after police say a...
Hold on a second. I got my wrong screen. My face is too big. My face is too big. Hold on. Why is my face so big? Oh, the screen didn't share. That's what it was. Okay, fine. Let's go with this one then. Sorry, guys. I pulled up the wrong transition, and now it's got my face all zoomed in, and I know y'all don't want to see all of that. That's a lot of me. I don't even want to see that much of me. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. So just check out the story first. Move this over this way a little bit. Why is everything all messed up? All right. Well, it is what it is. Yeah, this is not what I like it to be. Hold on a second. I gotta change this up. This is not gonna work. This is not gonna work like this. All right, let's see what we got here. So we got some folks. You see the folks, they're on the news here. I'm gonna try to bring them into the shot at least so you can see them. Can't seem to get the shot to minimize. There we go. All right, so we'll bring them over a little bit so y'all can see the whole story. That should work. All right, let's do it.
Driver intentionally hit him. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tricia Mackey.
And I'm Rob Williams.
Sheriff's deputy is dead after police say a driver intentionally hit him. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tricia Mackey.
And I'm Rob Williams. Cincinnati police say the driver is the father of an 18-year-old who was shot and killed by police yesterday.
We have been following this story all day, and we have team coverage tonight.
Allie Hennard is at UC Medical Center.
Brady Williams attended a procession for the deputy.
But first, let's send it over to Allie with more on how this all unfolded.
Well, Rob, Tricia, that's right. So the deputy lost his life to those injuries here at UC Medical Center earlier today. Now, we do know, according to Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi, the driver of the vehicle that hit and killed the deputy was the father of the man killed in an officer-involved shooting yesterday. Now, police say that he's been arrested for aggravated murder.
Driver of today's vehicle that struck a deputy has a family relationship with the 18-year-old that we shot yesterday.
Cincinnati police say the father of the 18-year-old who was shot and killed by Cincinnati police on Thursday was driving the car that hit and killed a deputy Friday afternoon. Rodney Hinton Jr. is now charged with aggravated murder for the deputy's death.
Medical. Medical. We need this shut down right now. Officer down, officer down.
Cincinnati police say the deputy was directing traffic ahead of UC's graduation ceremony when he was struck by a vehicle entering the intersection. It happened around 1 p.m. at the intersection of Martin Luther King Drive and Burnett Woods Drive near UC's campus.
I think what is significant for people to know about this accident is the officer was just out doing his job, directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati for what was supposed to be a glorious day for many.
After two critical incidents in 2 days, Chief Thigi made a plea to the public.
Let the processes play out. Let the investigations play out. Keep calm, take care of one another, And I can assure you, as the chief of police for Cincinnati, I will ensure you transparency and a thorough and accurate investigation.
The deputy had recently retired from the department in December.
Okay, so there's your backstory, or your current story, where a father whose child or son, let's just say that, he was 18, so some people don't call them children, I think they're kids, but anyway, his son was shot by the police the day before. He goes into the police office because they need to identify some things. And they show this man the video of the police, the body cam video of the police shooting his son. Thereafter, he gets on the road, and probably the first officer he sees, he literally crashes out and tries, not even tries, he takes this officer's life by running him over with a car. Now, some people are going to some degree, side with the father because he had just seen his son be shot by the police. And that's valid. It's valid. I've got kids myself. I don't know what I would do if they showed me a video of them shooting my child. I don't know. I don't know. But what I will say is this guy's response is probably not the best one. It's not the best one. And I'm going to take you through the story just really quickly. We only got a few minutes left, so I'm going to run through this as fast as I can. Because you need to see the video, and you need to understand that this man probably had a mental breakdown. Not saying he was the greatest dad, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying the situation of watching your child on video get shot by the police can probably send you over the edge a little bit. Maybe they shouldn't have just had him go out into the street. Maybe they should have had him talk to somebody first. But the police are justifying the shooting. So we're going to start with that. So that's probably what he has an issue with. The police are saying, hey, it was a justified shooting, and I don't believe they're even planning on picking up any additional charges. So let me see here. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do first here because it's a process that we got to go through.
Next tonight.
So I want to show y'all something here. I want to show you who we're dealing with. This is the child or the young man that was shot by the police. I want you to keep an eye on, remember his face. Remember the youth in the face. He looks like a baby to me. He don't look like, not saying he don't look like he could be a criminal, but I'm just saying he does look like a baby. And it's sad that somebody has to lose their life over that. So I'm gonna let this video play for a moment, but then we're gonna get to the body cam itself. I'll let you guys make your own decision as to what you see, and then we'll prepare for the grifters to come over the course of this week regarding this case.
Ryan Hinton. Body camera shows Hinton fall as he tries to run away. Police say they heard a metal clinking sound they believe was a gun.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun! On your right! On your right! He's got a gun!
As Hinton emerges from behind a dumpster, authorities say another officer firing 4 or 5 shots.
The officer says that he saw the suspect point the firearm at him.
Yes. Just 6 seconds passed between when police arrived and gunshots rang out. Officials say they tried administering medical aid. Hinton was struck twice and died. Investigators saying this gun was recovered from the scene allegedly found in Hinton's possession. On Friday, a day after that shooting and 2 hours after the Hinton family reviewed the body camera footage, according to the
2 hours after they saw that body cam footage. That's what they're saying. So it was 2 hours after that, this guy was on the road and beelined for the first police officer he saw. He crashed out, literally. But I would think you would put him under some type of surveillance or at least have him talk to somebody. Maybe they did talk to somebody for 2 hours and then they let him go and he still did that. I don't know.
The family's lawyer, a driver crashing a car into a Hamilton County deputy directing traffic near a commencement ceremony, killing him. The suspect, authorities say, is Ryan Hinton's father, Rodney Hinton Jr. Hinton's attorney calling the officer's death a horrific tragedy. At his first court appearance today, Hinton walked through a room packed with law enforcement. He's now charged with aggravated murder. The Hamilton County Sheriff says the deputy's death was a tremendous loss. Hinton Jr. is currently being held on no bail. His bond hearing scheduled for Tuesday.
Okay. So now we've been brought up to speed on the case, or at least what the case is. And I think before the grifters get to it, I think
now give us an update to the deadly police shooting.
That's not the one. That is not the one. Dang it, I got the wrong one. The wrong one. But I'll pull the other one. Give me 1 second here, I'll find it. Because I want y'all to see the camera. I want y'all to see it. So let's pull it. It'll be in the history somewhere.
Now give us an update to the deadly police shooting in East Price Hill yesterday.
It all started as officers investigated 4.
All right, so I'm going to skip through some of it, but I'm going to get to the footage itself, help you guys to understand the context. So here's the chief. She basically comes out and she gives you a story about what happened.
They are often compelled to make split-second decisions to protect others and themselves when faced with immediate threats. Yesterday was one of those occurrences. Let me be very direct. We cannot allow individuals to flee from officers with a loaded firearm aimed at them. When this happens, the outcome is almost always tragic.
All right, that is the hinge right there. Loaded weapon aimed at them. That's the hinge. That's where it goes from justified to unjustified, is loaded weapon aimed at them. The police are saying this person aimed a weapon at them, and that's why they fired.
No one wins, and everyone involved is affected. As I review the sequence of events from yesterday, you'll see exactly how rapidly these things evolved, and it will permanently alter the lives of everyone involved. Mom. So to give you an idea, this is 2500 Warsaw. I'm going to step out in front for a minute. Warsaw Avenue is down here. This is the long driveway. It goes up a hill. Where the incident occurred is at the dead end of the parking lot back here. You'll see vehicles there now.
I'm going to speed it up, but I'm going to give y'all some additional context. So the police officers were responding to a report of a stolen car that was parked somewhere. And that's what started the interaction. So they weren't fleeing from police like in a felony, like they running and they're shooting out the windows and stuff like that. It wasn't that kind of situation. They got jumped out on in the next scene. So I just want to give y'all some understanding here, because it's a weird one.
You'll see a photo. The stolen car that we're going to talk about was backed into a parking spot back there.
Right. All right, here's the car.
As you can see, this is a stolen Kia. It was stolen out of northern Kentucky yesterday.
I can't see it's a stolen Kia. I just see it's a Kia. But you want me to believe it's stolen? All right, I will.
You can see we have 2 uniformed cars there. Prior to those uniformed cars arriving, we had 2 undercover cars that pulled into that dead end, saw the vehicle. They backed out. They saw that there were individuals inside the vehicle, so they backed out and let the uniformed cars make the approach, which is the tactically sound decision to do. The cars are positioned the way the officers are trained. We are trained to use our vehicles as cover from any.
All right, I'm pausing there. What she said was some other officers showed up first, then these officers with the cars that are painted showed up. So that means that they rammed this car when they rolled up to it. That's why the bumper is like that and it's pushed back to the curb. That means when this officer right here, when he bent the corner, I don't know if they must have turned the car on or something, but he pinned that vehicle up against that curb right there so they couldn't come out. So, okay. But she said this is how they're trained. So we're going to let that continue.
Approach, which is the tactically sound decision to do. The cars are positioned the way the officers are trained. We are trained to use our vehicles as cover from any threat. That's what those officers did with the cars at that time. This is body-worn camera from officer number 2. Go ahead, Bobby.
Okay, so you're looking at officer number 2, gun drawn, circling around to the Kia behind this trash can. Right now, we've dropped the audio because we are told there is some cursing, some swearing in this, and we don't want to have that aired. But you're seeing the perspective from this officer approaching the suspect.
All 4 individuals get out and start running, some in different directions. So officers.
So they're fleeing. At this point, hasn't been no exchange of gunfire. Everybody starts running. So they hit the car. Everybody who's in the car takes off running. That's what I'm to believe so far from what they're saying. Okay. I'm just waiting to get to the point of when the guns and stuff are getting pointed at them and they start shooting. So let's see where this goes.
Decide which individual they're going to pursue. One officer decides to pursue the individual who we now know had a firearm in his hand. The other officer pursued another occupant that fled from the vehicle. And that'll be significant here in a moment when you see. So this is a still image. Again, I'm going to step out front. The car is parked over this way, okay? They are chasing the individual. So officer number 1 is chasing this guy right here. Okay, this is the guy we ultimately end up shooting. The other officer who actually fires the shot on this individual is chasing a different individual further out this way, in this direction. Okay? As this officer is chasing him, he sees a firearm in his hand and he yells, "Gun, gun," he's got a gun. This individual slips, trips, whatever, falls on the concrete right here. Other officers that were also there say in their interview, they heard the firearm hit the concrete. They heard the metal from the firearm hit the concrete. This individual gets up, still has a firearm in his hand, and continues to run through the dumpsters. Go ahead, Bonnie.
Again, we're bringing the audio down because there is potentially language that we do not want aired. And just a warning, we have been told that this video is not blurred. We don't know how much of this they are planning on showing. We just want to give you that heads up.
This officer knows that there's another officer here that is going to ultimately encounter him when he comes through the dumpsters. So he makes him aware.
Now, this is where it gets funky, guys, okay? Just warning you, it's graphic, I guess, to some. You can't see shit on these body cam videos. Let's just say this. It is 2025. Can we get some other company other than Axon to do body cams? Because their video quality is always crappy. Meanwhile, the people standing on the side with phones get full high-def freaking video from their apartment all the way across the parking lot. But the cop that's standing right there, we can't never see nothing in these videos. Axon, they need some competition. I'm going to tell you right now, they need a real iPhone or somebody, or Apple or somebody. Please, this is horrible. Because now it's going to leave gray area. You can't see nothing.
Aware of that. He shouts out to him, "On your right, on your right." He's on your right. And that's where this individual comes out from between the dumpsters.
All right, so she has now set y'all up with the story. So let's see what happens. So she doesn't say anything about anybody pointing a gun yet. I still haven't seen this as the issue that starts all of this. All I heard is some guys jumped out of a car and started running. One guy tripped, looks like he tripped and maybe dropped something, firearm, could have been a phone, I don't know. But he dropped something. That's still not the same as, firing off on an officer. I'm just saying. I'm not there, I'm not a cop, I'm just saying.
The other officer, the one who fires the shot, this is his body camera as he approaches the scene.
All right, again, bringing the audio down here, and this video is not blurred. This is the first time we are seeing this, as well as many of you.
Bring it back here. I had another one. I could bring up the other one with the actual audio in it, but I think that might be too violent for YouTube. But I'm gonna bring it back here so y'all can see what happens here.
It's out to him on your right, on your right. He's on your right. And that's where this individual comes out from between the dumpsters. This is the other officer, the one who fires the shot. This is his body camera as he approaches the scene.
All right, again, bringing the audio down here, and this video is not blurred. This is the first time we are seeing this as well.
So y'all see the guy come running out. I got this sped up. Let me slow it down so y'all can see it. So you can understand the distance, timing, and what we're looking at. So at this point, the person comes out.
Video is not blurred. This is the first time.
Right there. So here's our guy. He comes running out. At this point, I don't see no gun pointed at the officers. I don't. So he takes about 10 steps from here.
And we are seeing this as well as many of you.
And then the officer takes him out over there. So he gets from the dumpsters all the way over to this area before he's shot, but he never discharges a firearm. And all I saw was this man's back. And this is where the grifters are going to come in. Because the first officer yells, gun, gun, gun. Gun, gun, gun is supposed to be a safety call. It doesn't mean shoot the first thing that you see. It means be careful, take cover, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't necessarily mean start firing. But in police world, I've seen it enough times where the second one officer yells gun, 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 another officer, it's never the one that's yelling gun most times. It's always somebody else that starts firing off. Because at this point, this person's coming out from behind the dumpsters. He don't know what he got. But what I will say is, from the scene that we're looking at, when this guy comes out of this dumpster, I know it's blurry, blame Axon for their bullshit.
This is the first time we are seeing this as well as many
I can't get it to pause fast enough for y'all to see what I'm talking about.
of you.
But basically, this should be enough. Y'all should be able to see enough of it. He comes from the side, and he never looks back. I don't even think he saw the officer that shot him. I don't see him looking back at all. He comes out right here. He's running to the right. He keeps running.
We are seeing.
He's right here. He's still running. In the middle here, you see him.
Seeing this as
still running over here on the side.
As well as many.
Officer pivots. He's still running right here. This is back. I don't see it. I don't see it. Hold on. Let me bring it in so y'all can see what I'm seeing. But this is the guy right here. He's still running. Looks like he's kind of tripping a little bit, but he's still running. But he's not facing the officer at all in this shot. And so then he gets a little further. Officer shoots him.
So the police chief was describing how they called out to each other that this suspect was going to be running through the dumpsters. This officer had circled back behind there, anticipating, and that's when he does fire those shots that ended up being deadly. Let's listen back into the chief.
Officers were chasing him.
Now here's where our problem is. He did have a firearm somewhere. Maybe he didn't point it at the officers. So the question becomes, at which point are they allowed to utilize deadly force in this situation? And did the one guy just start shooting because the other guy said gun? Like, if not, he would have just had a guy running out away from him. He never turned around to him. I watched the video. Y'all saw it. So it's going to be one of those, you shot the man in the back. They're going to do an autopsy. And that's probably part of why the father went berserk, is because he had to watch somebody shoot his child in the back. So they find this gun.
Criminalistics. Remember I told you he fell on the concrete and the officer said that they heard the metal hit the ground? There are 3 spots on here where this gun has scratches on it. We believe those occurred when he hit the ground with the firearm.
Damn sure didn't scratch off the serial number, though. Okay.
What type of firearm is that, Chief?
Semi-automatic. I don't know the make and model.
The cameraman sucks in this press conference.
This is a second. sorry, Bobby, can you go back one frame, please? This magazine was in the firearm. That's an extended magazine, so it holds more rounds. Go ahead. This is a second magazine that was located in his sweatshirt pocket.
He was armed. But possession of a firearm is not the same as threatening somebody with a firearm. We've proved that there was a firearm involved. It depends on the situation and what starts the pursuit. For instance, if you rob a bank at gunpoint, the assumption is not just that you're armed, but you're also armed and dangerous. Being in a stolen vehicle, depending on what the situation was and how it was stolen, like if it was carjacked and a violent crime is how you procured the vehicle, you can also assume that the occupants of said vehicle are armed and dangerous. But, as we all know, a fleeing suspect is not supposed to be a threat. Now, this is just what they say. A person running away from you, it's hard to consider them a perceived threat because they're not facing you, and in no point in this video did I see that guy actually point a firearm. And this is why I'm having this conversation, because he was obviously up to no good, riding around a stolen vehicle, firearms on him, extended magazines, probably not the best contributor to the community. But because of the fact that he was running away and was shot in the back, people are going to feel that that was not correct and that that was not justified. So as a result, this father crashes out to do all of this, I guess, in honor of his son or whatever he wants to call it, and people may start to view the father as a hero. Next thing you know, they're doing a GoFundMe for that guy. When the honest truth is, as a father, I'm more concerned with why your child was out there fully armed with extended mags sitting in stolen cars. That's not the police's fault. Now, maybe the officer shouldn't have shot him in the back, but his location is what led to his demise. And when I say his location, what was going on at the time that even had them up on them like that is what brought him to his demise. And I'm not going to allow anybody to bring me into no BS about white cop versus a black kid and all this kind of stuff. It's as simple as this. Was the shooting justified, yes or no? If the officer says that he thought the gun was pointed at him or he felt a certain way, they're probably going to get off of that. But somebody's going to see the same video we just saw and say, well, the kid never actually pointed the gun at the officer and he was running away. And somebody's going to say that would make that an unjustified shooting, which is where the debate is going to come in. And that's why I'm showing y'all the video. I know how I feel about it. I'm more concerned with why this man's son was in that situation where the police are running after him and banging up against the car that they're sitting in. You're not even supposed to be in that situation, son. But I also have to feel for a father losing their child to a certain degree as well. But considering the fact that dad was willing to go run someone over and take their life, maybe the apple don't fall too far from the tree, and maybe the guy was a violent criminal. I don't know his criminal history. I just know this situation, he was running away from a cop, and he got shot in the back. And the grifters and the Ben Crumps and the Al Sharpton types and you know those folks, they love to feast on stuff like this. And I'm over it. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm over it. Because, first of all, why did he even have that gun? Why did he even have an extended mag? Why was he even rolling around with people that were stealing cars? Those are the problems that need to be resolved. You're not going to solve this issue by punishing just this officer for shooting him. Now, I don't know what that officer is going to go through as far as administration and how they deal with it. But I do believe that they'll end up having to pay the family something because they shot the kid in the back. That's just being honest. That what I think is fair or not doesn't matter in this. I'm just looking at the facts. I'm looking at how they do stuff. And that's pretty much what's going to happen. They're going to have to pay for it because somebody's going to see that the person wasn't pointing the gun. Okay? So I'll let this little clip finish. But just when you hear this one coming across the timelines, don't have nobody out there thinking they're going to get you in some protest or nothing over this. Let this be what it is, a tragic situation where a kid was doing the wrong thing and the officers responded and they may have jumped the gun, but if he wasn't in that location doing what he was doing in the first place, none of this would have happened. I'm not absolving the officer. I'm just saying we got to take the whole picture in before we let these folks have us out here with signs and trying to create another George Floyd situation. Okay? This one, Ghost 40, thanks for stopping in the chat. This one is in Cincinnati, Ohio. And Cincinnati, Ohio has a way bigger problem with people killing people. They got one of the highest murder rates in the country, just by number. They got a lot of people that live there, so I think percentage-wise they're not number one, but they're up there pretty high. We're talking 700-800 homicides a year, like right behind New York. So per capita, I think Baltimore still has it, but it's just because there's less people there. But numbers-wise, they might have like 350 a year, which is not good. I'm just saying, raw numbers, 700-800 people involved in a homicide is a lot of people, even though you got a lot of people living there. So, yeah, Cincinnati, man. So don't go there.
And that is the magazine from that second.
All right, so they're giving us this information about the magazines and stuff that he had on him, but none of this stuff was discharged. None of these weapons were discharged. And that's what I'm telling you. That's where the grifters are going to come in.
This is another firearm that was located inside the stolen vehicle.
Has nothing to do with the shooting.
This is a firearm that was also stolen out of northern Kentucky sometime yesterday, early yesterday morning. Approximately, we believe, based on timelines, this was stolen from a vehicle in northern Kentucky, and then they went on to steal the vehicle that's involved in the incident. So because we are still attempting to 100% verify the individual's identity, the individual who we shot, we're going to list him as John Doe until we can 100% verify that for you. The other three individuals that were in the car all ran. This was an extensive search for these individuals. I don't know if anybody's familiar with 2500 Warsaw. It is steep terrain, both directions from that parking lot, heavily wooded. They ran into that area in different directions, and we happen to have as hours of the day that we had several canines available and our drone operators available. So we deployed both of those, got some assistance from community members who were calling us, and we ultimately apprehended this gentleman as well as this gentleman. We still have another person we're looking for. We are attempting to positively identify him and will continue to search for him. As you know, per Marcy's law, we're not going to reveal the officers' names, the officers who were involved, but here is their information. Been on almost 11 years, fugitive apprehension. Been on almost 24 years.
Rest of it.
Fugitive. Afterwards, I want to point out.
All right, so now we got some other pictures. Like I said, we're going to take a look at the scene here. So the dumpster's right here. This is what he came running from out of. The officer was over on the side. And this tree here is apparently where the shooting happened. So I would say that's maybe 20 to 25 feet. And in watching the video, the guy took about 10 steps. If you watch his feet, he took about 10 running steps. 10 running steps for me is halfway down the damn, it's about 50 yards, but I got long legs, I'm tall. But I'm saying for the average person, your first couple steps are going to be choppy, and then you got the other, let's say 7 steps. So he probably made it about 25 feet past the dumpsters. What I haven't quite figured out, and I don't know if you guys can see in the back there, there's the car that he came out of. So he ran from over there, down through these dumpsters and they shot him here. Okay, you may not be able to see my mouse, but you get the point. And this is, like I said, this is where it gets funky. They never were shot at as far as the officers. And I'm not 100% sure that even if he dropped a gun, that doesn't necessarily mean that that was his intent to use it. Not saying that he wasn't going to use it. I'm not saying this guy's innocent. What I'm saying is the grifters are going to take this and they're going to have people upset. So we got to go over it and be objective first so we don't get pulled into some stupid ass narrative about some unarmed kid got shot by a white cop in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? So nonetheless, he comes running through here. And no, he didn't have, I don't see it.
This incident, from the time they bailed from the vehicle and police were chasing them to the time the individual was shot, 6 seconds.
So 6 seconds from the time he got out and started running to the time he was shot. I'd say 3 seconds into it, the other officer was yelling, gun, gun, gun. I honestly, like I said, I get it. This guy had some pretty heavy artillery on him, and he could have took out a couple of cops if he'd have started shooting. Let's be real. Whether or not he was shooting is where the grifters come in. Because he didn't actually shoot, because he didn't actually point these dangerous-ass weapons at the police, they'll look at him like he's an innocent martyr. And that a father, distraught with depression and after losing his child, went and did what he did. So he might get off on a temporary insanity kind of thing. If they get a good enough lawyer and enough of the public out here saying he didn't, you know, he lost his mind because he lost his child, and they'll make a case. Just saying. So
6 quick seconds. But the officer's responsibility didn't end there. They did very admirably trying to save this gentleman's life by administering different variations of medical aid until the fire department responded.
All right, what else you got?
You can see the medical debris.
All right, so right here is where things get a little funky for me. So this little number in the thing, number 3 over here, is apparently where they found the gun that he had. But the gun is on the side. I don't know how good the graphics are for y'all, but there's like a fence right here. And the gun is on the outside of the fence. But when he was shot on the inside of the fence. So it looks to me like he threw the gun at some point. Maybe right after the first cop yelled, gun, gun, gun. Because for some reason we don't have his body cam video after he saw the guy trip and fall. All of a sudden that they don't show any more of that video. So I believe that there may be some hidden information in that video as to what I think happened. But I do believe that this is how the gun ended up way over here, is because he threw it, not because he aimed it at somebody. So let me see what we got here. So nonetheless, like I said, I'm looking at the scene, looking at the pictures they're showing. I'm seeing where things are located, and it doesn't add up with a whole he was pointing the gun at the police. I do agree he was armed with some pretty heavy stuff that could have definitely harmed some other people. But whether or not the cop's statement of this guy was pointing the gun at him is true or not is where the problem is going to come in. And I think that's a lie. Just from what I'm seeing here.
And then this is where the firearm was. Okay, we'll take a few questions.
The suspect, it was very difficult to see, really shows how volatile the situation is. But it was difficult for us to see if the suspect pointed his gun at the officer or whether he just had a gun and was shot because he had a gun. Can you tell why the officer shot the suspect?
Yeah, so just to kind of give you a frame of reference, The individual is running with a firearm in his hand. The officer is running, so the body camera is kind of jolting as the officer's running. What that leaves us with is a very blurred image.
Yeah, but y'all, there was two people there. Forget a blurred image. There was two people standing there that were both police officers, so they're going to say what they're going to say. They got their stories together. What we saw was a person run and get shot in the back. And if you show just that clip to the public, forget the whole stolen car, the 6-second chase, the tripping and falling, and they heard something hit the ground. If they just show that little 3 seconds of the kid running out and getting shot in the back, that's all Ben Crump and them folks are going to need to get some shit started. I hope y'all understand that. Not everybody's going to take the time to research these things.
Unfortunately. However, based on the officer's interviews, the officer who did discharge his firearm said that when the individual came out between the dumpsters, he had the firearm in front of him. It was in like a bladed position, and it was pointed at the officer.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Y'all saw the video? How do you have time to be pointing and you running? I've seen you running. You don't have time to aim unless you're a really sophisticated shooter. And if you're not a sophisticated shooter, you'll just start shooting wherever. If you're going to point something that's got hollow points and extended mags, you're just going to start shooting randomly. You're not going to not use it. If you pull it out to use it, you're going to fire off a couple. And that didn't happen. And that's where the problem is. And that's where the issue is. It's like, now we got to deal with this shit. And this isn't just a training issue. This is a people problem. Location-based issues. The issue is not what happened at the end. It's why were you there in the first place? But if they show that little ass clip to people of a kid running out from behind a dumpster and getting shot in the back, it's not going to bode well. And before you know it, they're going to have people standing down there at the daggone police station protesting. Over what? I don't know if this was going to be one of those productive citizens that we want to have later. But this guy asked the question. He said, hey, in the video, we don't see that. So was this guy shot just because he had a gun? And then the officer said that the other officer said XYZ. So she's not even saying that that's true. She's just saying that's what somebody told me. That means she saw the same video and may feel like I do, which is I didn't see that. But that officer said blah, blah, blah. And so until the investigation's over with, that's what I'm going with because I wasn't there. That's the angle she's taking on it. She's not giving her opinion of what she saw in the video. The guy was asking the question based on his opinion of what he saw in the video. Her response had to do with what somebody told her, not what she saw. So pay attention to that. She knows this is bad for the department. She knows this is not going to bode well, and that somebody's going to cut that damn video to that one little clip, and before you know it, like I said, you'll have another George Floyd situation going on. And I don't think, I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, I don't think this group deserves that. I think there's plenty more people that could get way more attention and way more support from the community that are doing way better things than running around stealing cars and running around with guns. But we don't support those people. We support these people. And that's my frustration. That's why I'm mad. I'm not even mad. The grifters are going to do what they're going to do. That's how they make their money. But every time some shit like this pops up, we jump on it, but we never jump behind the person that's actually trying to do good things for the community. Nobody cares about that person. Ain't fine. They don't want that person to live well. But they'll raise $400,000 in a GoFundMe for people who are murderers. Just because they're black and there's a white person involved. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, but this is where we live. So I'm getting ahead of this story because I have a mandate to not allow bullshit to push too far through. And if I see it, I got to identify it right up front before this thing gets out of hand and they start telling you that some kid got shot in the back and they're doing candlelight vigils and all that. Just keep in mind that all they had to do was just tell the truth. That's all they had to do. Now they're going to try to make this person look like the worst criminal ever, the one that got shot. The father probably doesn't have a clean record because most people with clean records don't run out there and start running over police officers. They're just going to try to castrate the family, and because of that castration, the grifters are going to say they're castrating the family that just lost a child and blah, blah, blah. They're being heartless, and the grifters are going to come back from the other direction. So legally, like I said, I'm watching the same video. Having a gun is not necessarily a reason to be shot. There are 1 million gun owners in America, some that have concealed carry permits, open carry permits, all types of stuff. And just having the gun is not enough. And that's the truth. So unfortunately, even though these officers were probably in danger to a degree, if this guy's got hollow points and all that, if he didn't aim that thing at him and all he did was have it, and the second cop never actually saw it, but he had to say he saw something. But if that's the case, then how the hell did the gun end up way over there? He threw it after he got shot? Sucks, man. They're going to eat this shit up. All right, I'll let her finish up.
And he felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm.
Threatened for his life. They're using all the same talking points, man. Ben Crump is going to eat y'all alive with this shit. But Ghost 40, I'm talking about this legal gun owners is a totally different group. I'm pretty sure this guy is not the person who had a legal firearm. And this is, like I said, I'm trying to make the point of the grifters will be able to spin this in a way to make it seem like this guy was 100% a victim because he was shot in the back running away from the police. And they're going to jump up there and say, just having a firearm on you is not a reason for a deadly force. I've heard this argument before because it's happened before. And a lot of times we end up getting pulled into a whole movement about some people that really were not good for the community, and we need to be more worried about the family dynamic that put that child in that place in the first place. We're not going to be worried about that. They're going to be worried about the department in Cincinnati and the officer being fired and da-da-da-da-da. But it doesn't change the fact that the kid might not have been raised right, and that's why he was sitting there in a stolen car with hollow point bullets and extended mags. It'll solve nothing but to line Ben Crump and them people's pockets. So if we're not willing to have the real discussion about the parenting and the whole thing, I don't hear nothing about we need to show sympathy to this father or to his son that was unfortunately killed. I feel for that because as a father, I feel for that. But my son and my sons, because I got multiples of them, also know if they were caught in the car with all of that and the police didn't deal with them, I would have to whoop their ass. You see what I'm saying? So my sons don't get into shit like that. Now, is that because they're special or something? Maybe. But there's plenty of kids that don't get into stuff like that. So I'm not going to blame the officers 100%, the shooter 100%. I blame the father. There, I said it. So before we go protesting and trying to raise a bunch of money for the father that ran over the cop as a revenge to the police who killed his son, just remember, he's the damn problem. He's the problem. And if we're not willing to be honest about that, then we're not talking about nothing. We're not talking about nothing. So before they bring y'all into it, like I said, there's a lot of gray area in the whole can you carry a gun or not carry a gun, right? If you're a legal gun owner and you have a permit to carry the damn thing around, then feel free to do so. If you live in a state that allows for these things and you have purchased your stuff legally, feel free to do so. We are not talking about that group, y'all. We're not talking about legal gun owners. That's what the whole gun control argument is when you put a bunch of gun control on people that are doing it the right way, it doesn't help the people that are scratching off serial numbers, stealing cars, buying extendo mags, and running through neighborhoods. It does nothing for that. So that's why the legal gun owners are like, yo, we don't want all that extra stuff. Now, granted, there are some states where they could tighten up a little bit with some of the background check things that they do. I get some of that. But it's a damn amendment. You have the right to bear arms. The best we can tell people to do is be responsible with their bearing of those arms. But what we're not going to do is conflate a legalized gun owner having a gun on them with a permit and a kid who just stole a car and has hollow points and some more shit on him. It's unfortunate, but that's a dangerous person. Not saying he deserved to die. I'm just saying that type of person is in situations where bullets fly and sometimes you die. Every once in a while there's accidents. Every once in a while the police make accidents. They do. Just like every other human, they do accidentally do stuff. And to a degree, I don't believe that this officer was supposed to shoot the guy in the back. But what are you going to do here? You got another guy yelling gun. So now he's paranoid. He don't know what's gun where, what's happening. The first thing he sees, he shoots. Where I do have an issue with it is the amount of time he took. I would have rather him started shooting as soon as he came from behind the dumpsters. The fact that he kept them in his sights and followed a running body like that, that's different. And you can see that on the body cam because you watch how the camera moves slowly as he's drawn on him. So he, at that point, hadn't had a shot fired at him. And he drew and followed him. That's the part they're going to have an issue with. So let's just put it all out there. Person was armed. They're probably going to say it was a justified shooting. And before we start rioting in the streets over this damn thing, let's try to pick up our parenting and make sure that our kids aren't the ones sitting in these situations and getting shot by the police. We can't stop all of it, but some of these things can be avoided. Matter of fact, a lot of it could be avoided, but some of these things can definitely be avoided by better parenting. And it doesn't matter if it's your mother, your father, whoever it is, we're all accountable for raising our kids. So everybody knows when your kid goes out there and does something goofy, they always say, who raised you? So before we start talking about the kid, he's a criminal, this, and that, okay, let's talk about his father. Let's figure out where his father went wrong. Let's trace it all the way back to whatever the problem is that keeps being passed on from generation to generation, where there's a segment of black people doing all the nasty shit, and then there's a whole nother segment that's trying to identify with it for some weird reason, a lot of them, but they never speak out against it. They only speak out when it's a white cop shooting a black cop, not when a person who's trying to do the best that they can for their community or raise their kid or like is keep being kept from their kids. Not Kanye, because you know he's crazy. But I'm talking about like an average dude that's fighting with a baby mama. Don't nobody stand up for that guy who's actually trying to do good. So no, we don't get to stand up for the father. Let the legal system deal with him. Unfortunately, the officer dealt with his son. And now that's 2 lives gone. Father's not coming back because he took someone's life. And the son's not coming back. So that's 2 black lives that apparently did not matter to the people to whom those lives belonged. And that's the part that's sad. I don't blame the police for being trigger happy sometimes. In this one, he probably shouldn't have trained for 3 to 4 seconds as he was moving like that. He should have popped him as soon as he came out, and then he could have said, look, I saw him come out, he came out with the gun, I shot. But the fact that you stopped and let him run like that, that's where you messed up, Mr. Officer. So when they chop this damn video up, not mine, but the news one, and they couple it with the father standing in front of the judge getting arraigned, and they try to make this guy to look like some type of hero dad, let's just make sure that we don't get caught up in that bullshit, okay? That's it. That's all. That's all I got to say on that one. That is all I got to say on that one. I'm gonna bring it back for those that didn't see it. We're talking about this lady. We're talking about Cincinnati, Ohio. We're talking about a recent shooting. And before they get us all Black Lives Mattered up again, let's just be reasonable with this. This was a really tricky situation, and we need to let them deal with that. Maybe there needs to be some better training. They need to deal with that. But there is nothing that we as a public can do to stop these kind of things, short of making sure our kids are not the ones running from between the dumpsters with extendo mags and semi-automatic weapons. That's our responsibility. You want these shootings and shit to stop? You got to keep our kids out of those locations and out of those situations. That's how you stop it. Can't just be mad when it happens. We got to be mad when it's been allowed to happen, when it's been forced to happen, when your life has put you in this situation where this happens. This wasn't no accident. These were not no innocent ass kids playing at the tot lot and the police rolled up and started shooting. That's not what happened. All of them were armed. They even left a gun in the car. This is what you would consider armed and dangerous. They had already stolen things. So there's no heroes here, okay? Father's not a hero, the child's not a hero, and the officer's not a hero. No heroes here. So what we're not going to do is let them spin this bullshit into some race narrative again. You know what I'm saying? And Dr. Dons, you're on to something. I've been talking about this a lot. They took away the right for parents to parent, but it was because some people was not doing it right, and they made the whole lot look bad. And that's the problem. A couple of bad apples spoiled the whole bunch. Some people were raising their kids right. Some people were using the discipline correctly. Other people were just beating their kids because there wasn't no orange juice left. You see what I'm saying? And so that became the problem. And so they said, all right, well, since we don't know who's who, we're just going to have to tell everybody they can't do this stuff. You can't even yell at your kids no more. They go tell the school's like, you're being mentally abusive. But guess what? What some of y'all may not know is recently they passed a bill in the White House. It was an executive order to give the teachers the right to start whooping your kids' ass again. So that'll be coming up soon. So maybe that'll help. I don't know. I'm not involved in this situation. I don't subscribe to gang culture, and I will no longer and in no way continue to feed the miseducation of a lost generation. These kids need to know that if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I'm sorry that the father lost his child. I'm sorry that the mother lost their child. I'm sorry that whoever lost whoever. But there's a lesson to be learned, and the lesson ain't white cops need to stop shooting black kids in the back. That's its own lesson. But that's not what we're going to take from this. What we're going to take from this is we got to keep our kids out of those locations and out of those situations. That is the only way to stop this kind of shit from going on. That is the only way to stop Ben Crump and them from coming into town every time one of these damn shootings pops up and they make their bag and they disappear and you never hear from them again. I'm sick of that. And I can smell it when it's coming. It's coming on this one. Watch. Somebody will pick it up. And then we're going to have to deal with that for a little bit. And somebody will do a candlelight vigil and then probably make a little mural or something. Who knows? Who knows? But I don't like it. I don't like it. I see where it is. It is messy. Some things were wrong. But people take this shit too far. And they refuse to focus on the problem, which is how and why they were there in the first place. And if we fix that, we fix the problem. So the problem's a community problem. It's not just the police. It's a community problem. And if the community's not together on fixing the problem, then even though there'll be some people that want to fix it, there's going to be another group that go against that group. And they'll just keep things messed up. There's people that live in the hood that don't like the hood being the hood. It's all they can afford, but they don't like the drug dealers at the corner. They don't like the trash in the streets. A lot of them will come outside and, sweeping up and stuff, trying to keep the place clean. But then there's 1,000 other people doing the opposite of what that one person is doing. And it makes the whole thing dirty. So, just glad y'all came along for the ride with me, but I do have to get out of here. So, Let me bring over my final cam and give my shout outs, and I'm gonna get up out of here. All right. Appreciate y'all. All right. All right. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. We have purged effectively today, and I just want y'all to be on the lookout for this case of the Hinton family and their situation in Cincinnati. Somebody's going to try to make it more than what it is. I think they need to let it go. I hate to say it that way, but they're going to have to let that one go. You can't make it a martyr out of the person that had all types of weapons. It's just hard. It's just hard to make that case. So let's just not. Okay? So nonetheless, special shouts to my Mod Squad sheriff, my man Al in the chat there. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me for an hour and a half tonight. Like I said, we're doing some new things. So next week, Saturday and Sunday are nighttime shows now, and Tuesday and Thursday are daytime shows. So that's to give everybody, because some people are like, I can't see you during the day, I want to see you at night. So I'm splitting it half and half. 2 night shows, 2 day shows. You make it if you can. Share it for those that can't make it. You know, we'll see you on the next one. But anyway, Donald J. Plump, thank you for stopping in the chat. Dr. Dons, thank you for stopping in the chat. Who else we got in here? We had Ghost 40 stopped in the chat. And I'll make sure, who else? Purple Groovy had stopped in the chat earlier. Probably got out of here by now. I started talking that serious shit. People start running, boy. But anyway, Purple Groovy, I seen you in there earlier. IMZ, Tamra, special shouts. Hey, y'all were a little active in the chat today, and I do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it, guys. So, with nothing else to be said, stay vigilant, stay on point, but stay out of that bullshit, all right? And I'm out.